My lords, ladies, and nobles, pray all attend. We have a few announcements to make before getting started. By attending, you agree to have your likeness and voice recorded and rebroadcast on social media channels. Please make sure that your mic is muted if it is not already. Also, please update your display name to reflect your society name minus any titles. You can do this by hovering over your video, clicking on the three dots, and then selecting Rename. For any award recipients, your award medallion and promissory scroll will be arranged to be delivered to you at a future event. On this 21st day of November, Anno Societatis 55, here opens the court of their Majesties, Alexander and Tahira, sovereign crown of the Kingdom of Caid. Your Majesties, do you have any comments for your gathered populace?
Your Majesty.
Hi everyone, it's been a while. We're so glad to be here with you guys today, at least one more time. I hope everyone is enjoying their time and hope to see everyone soon.
We are so very excited here to be in front of everyone again. It thrills us to know that all of you are watching again. And at this point, it's been a long year, folks, a really, really long time. And I'm sure everyone's wondering how we're doing, where we're going. We took a month off there because we were tired of reporting the same thing over and over again. But finally, the clouds are beginning to part. Science is telling us that very soon we should have a vaccine to this terrible plague. And hopefully we will begin having in-person events again. In hearing all this news, all this wonderful news, the SCA Board of Directors has begun having conversations with us as to how we're going to reopen the SCA again. So finally, we have some news that is not tragic, and I'm excited to bring it to you. In that same vein, we would like to convey now to let everyone know, Her Majesty and I have sat in the throne through this tumultuous time because we felt it needed to happen to make sure that our heirs were going to be handed a kingdom that we knew was ready to move forward in person, ready to get us all back together so we could all be around our family. The idea of changing jockeys mid-race was not something we wanted to do. So we bore the brunt of this, if you will, to make sure that we could get to a point where we felt confident that our king would be able to move forward smoothly in his transition. And that time is just about upon us. Her Majesty and I will be stepping down in January, at which time we will be handing the reins to our heirs. We feel now, and we are confident that they will be able to have their own heirs and that our kingdom will be able to move smoothly forward. So we are very excited now to know that finally the part in the clouds is beginning to happen, and hopefully we'll be able to see our family face to face again soon.
Your Highnesses, do you have any comments for the gathered populace?
Greetings and felicitations, Caid. It is lovely to be in front of you again, especially at this time when we can actually look forward to a brighter future, at least I hope. Because I'm keeping my eye on the end of that tunnel, because that just might be a train coming in. I'm ready to jump off if it is. It's wonderful to be here, and I hope everybody is fine and keeping well and keeping busy.
I miss you all, and hopefully this ends soon. I look forward to seeing everybody.
Your Excellency Llewellyn, do you have any comments for the gathered populace?
Thank you for everybody that attended our Frost Dragon online event. Unfortunately, this COVID has not just affected us. The famous Frost Dragon has shown its unhappiness by planting himself in front of my keep to wear people off. Hopefully, he'll be leaving soon.
Whereas it has come to our notice that through diverse great efforts, there are some gentles who have considerably enriched our realm, it is thus our pleasure to raise them to the rank, estate, and title of a lord, lady, or noble of our realm, and award them arms. Therefore we, Alexander and Tahira, recognize Maria Volante, Willem Cosinier, Sabila de Hayes, and Beric Roos.
So these gentles have come highly recommended to us. They have done work in their local baronies as well as the kingdom. We are so proud to have them as part of Caid, and we look forward to the great things that they have in the future.
Nobles hereby named, we at this time charge you with the responsibilities of this rank and to consult with our heralds to determine suitable and unique arms. For the newest armigers of Caid, hip hip, hip hip, hip hip. Your Majesties, the Kingdom Seneschal, Sir Oronric, has business before this court.
Proceed.
Thank you, Your Majesties. Hello, Caid. It has been a pleasure to be your Kingdom Seneschal. I have had this position a little bit longer than I originally intended, but with light at the end of the tunnel, I'm announcing my intention to step down from this position in January. I will be the position will be being filled by my deputy, Sir Tiberius Finn, who will hopefully be stepping up in January, and I have all confidence that he will be able to help guide the kingdom through the end of this time and into the new brighter time. So thank you, Your Majesties.
The ancient and venerable Order of the Dolphin was first given in the 2nd year of the Principality, and is intended to honor those persons who have served Caid above and beyond the normal expectations of their offices or ranks, giving their time and efforts generously and courteously. Now therefore do we, Alexander and Tahira, recognize Yamina al-Zahara bint Hatim.
I have watched this person personally do a huge amount of work for this beloved kingdom. I have watched her make beautiful artwork. I have watched her rally people, set up courtesy tables, even on the rare occasion get a king drunk. We could not be more happy to give this award. We are very thrilled to be able to do so.
For the newest companion of the Dolphin of Caid, hip hip, hip hip, hip hip. Hear now the words of their excellencies, Logan and Tyne, 10th Baron and Baroness of Drybergen. From our earliest days, Drybergen has been known as a barony that excels in welcome and works of service. This was exemplified by our founding Baroness, Alison von Markheim, who continually reached out, turning her hand to whatever tasks needed doing, and welcomed in. Acting as a guiding light, she taught her household and her barony to do likewise. And so we have done, keeping Drybergen a place of warmth and welcome, where many hands make light work. It is our will to create an award to recognize those long-standing members of the barony who, over the course of time, continue to serve, acting in turn as guiding lights and inspirations to the whole barony, and without whom our society would be measurably less. This order shall be called the Gesellschaft von der Sterren von Drybergen. In English, the Order of the Stars of Drybergen. Its emblem shall be, per chevron throughout, argent and azure, a tower, argent, within 7 mullets in annulo counterchanged. It is our intent that this recognition be given no more than once per year to a single gentle, deemed to be deserving by their excellencies after consultation with the other members of the order. Let it be known that henceforth from this day, the premiers of this order are Thane Edwin of Runden, Baron Paganus Grinlove, and the Honorable Lady Marie-Hélène de Wamwell, posthumously. For the premiers of the Gesellschaft von den Sterren von Drybergen, hip hip, hip hip, hip hip. Your Majesties, the Baron of Navaheim begs leave to recognize worthy nobles of his lands and conduct business to promote the welfare of the kingdom.
Let him proceed.
Here pauses the court of their Majesties, Alexander and Tahira.
Here opens the court of His Excellency Llewellyn, Baron of Neveheim. There are times when one may serve the barony of Neveheim and the kingdom of Caid with such extreme effort or in such an unforeseen manner that those touched by this person are utterly enriched. So it is that the baronage of Neveheim has created their special Order of the Dragon's Blaze, to so honor those persons who give of themselves to the utmost capacity for the vast benefit of others. And the insignia for the members of this order is identified by the blazon pure on a plate within an annulet or an ermine spot gules. At this time, His Excellency wishes to recognize Oddbjorn Kappa and Asa Thorfinnsdottir of Caid.
Both of these gentles have worked very diligently during these trying times to further the arts and sciences in our barony. They've regularly reached out to members of our populace, asking about the arts and sciences that they've been working on, and they've continued to work on their own and demonstrate it to the rest of our populace.
For the newest companions of the Dragon's Blaze, hip hip, hip hip, hip hip. Well is it known that a barony lives by those who serve it. So too should a barony recognize those people who by act and deed distinguish themselves by their exemplary means to help those in need and to tend to the overall operations of these lands. Thus was created the Order of the Dragon's Wing, to recognize those that through their efforts and time given, the barony is supported in its journey of maintaining the life of the dream. And such members of this order are identified by the blazon, vert, on a plate within an annulet or an ermine spot gules. At this time, His Excellency wishes to recognize Asa Thorfinnsdottir of Caid.
I've already mentioned that Asa has been furthering our arts and sciences. Without her, honestly, the online event we held for Neveheim would never have happened. It was her goading and pushing to get us to organize it in the first place. So this is my thanks to her.
For the reaffirmed companion of the Dragon's Wing, hip hip, hip hip, hip hip. When members of Neveheim show to be models of courtesy and gentleness, their way of life displays a means of inspiration to others, and through such patience and understanding, uplift others to new heights within the life of the dream. So it was that Baroness Eularia d'Amboise sought to establish a companionship to those persons whom the Baroness saw such deeds and actions manifested, and so wished for them to be recognized amongst her populace. Thus, she created the Order of the Dragon's Heart of Neveheim, for she saw it right and just to honor those who through their behavior and actions, the people of Neveheim are enriched and warmed. And the members of the order are identified by an amulet of a heart enflamed. At this time, His Excellency wishes to recognize Thomas Blackkeep posthumously.
So I'm sure almost all of you have been touched by Thomas's hand. And one of the most important things this award is there for is patience. My father had demonstrated patience with many people in this kingdom, and that is why we're giving it to him.
For the newest companion of the Dragon's Heart of Neveheim, hip hip, hip hip, hip hip. Here ends the court of His Excellency Llewellyn.
Here resumes the court of their Majesties, Alexander and Tahira. Today at 3 p.m., the Barony of Leondemer will be hosting the Fall Ball Virtual. This is a Kingdom Arts and Sciences event. We will be sharing our current arts and sciences projects, highlighting a few that were submitted for feedback, playing some games, and topping off our evening with a bardic at 8 p.m. Hint, there will be at least one trivia question featuring a tidbit from today's court. The full event description plus links from the Zoom event are located on the Kingdom calendar and in Facebook. We hope to see you all there. It is one of the more pleasant duties of the Crown to encourage the development of artistic skills and scientific expertise among its subjects. When an artisan has excelled consistently in a particular art or science, and has shared that beauty and knowledge with others to the greater enrichment of the realm, then it becomes not only the duty, but the joy of the crown to recognize such endeavor. Therefore was created the Order of the Harpe Argent, given by the crown to recognize exceptional skill in a particular art form or scientific field. Now therefore do we, Alexander and Tahira, recognize Ocelotl Moctezuma for Mesoamerican Studies.
So Ocelotl has been instrumental in bringing his knowledge of Mesoamerican studies to not only our kingdom, but to other kingdoms as well. He becomes highly recommended for his work that he's done on panels and just helping others get to know the culture that he is so passionate about. So we're so thankful to have him in our kingdom and be such a good representative to other kingdoms for us.
For the newest companion of the Harpe Argent, hip hip, hip hip, hip hip. Their Majesties welcome any member of the populace who wishes to swear fealty at this time. Please do not unmute your mics for this, but please raise your right hand or bear your sword or circlet as an implement on which to swear fealty. Here do I swear, by mouth and hand, fealty and service to the crown and kingdom of Caid, that I will conduct myself with dignity and grace, obeying their Majesties' lawful commands in all matters concerning this realm, and, mindful that the harmony of Caid springs from my own deeds, that I will deal courteously and fairly with those of every degree, until the crown depart the throne, death take me, or the world end.
And we, for our part, do swear fealty to the populace of Caid, to all its households,
To protect and defend them against every creature with all our power, until we depart from the throne,
death take us.
or the world end.
So say we, Alexander, King of Caid.
So say we, Tahira, Queen of Caid.
Your Majesties, I do beg leave to exercise one of the ancient privileges of my office.
You have our leave, and know that you have our royal assent.
In the 16th year of the Society, Wilhelm von Schussel, Lord King of Arms, sought to recognize those heralds who had greatly served their kingdom's College of Heralds and the Society's College of Arms, and who had, as well, achieved the highest level of competence in heraldry. To do so, he created the rank of Herald Extraordinary. Wilhelm Laurel charged the principal heralds of each kingdom with the responsibility for elevating deserving heralds to this rank, and gave them the privilege of granting those heralds the right to a personal heraldic title, that is, one vested in a herald's own person rather than the territory in which they serve. Let it be known to all that I, Ariana Verkontelen, Crescent Principal Herald, with the royal assent of Alexander and Tahira, King and Queen of Caid, in recognition of his long, faithful, and excellent service to Caid and to the Society, do hereby raise their trusty and well-beloved servant, Paul Fitz-Dennis, to the rank of Herald Extraordinary, and confer upon him the right to a herald's title to be his forever. Their Majesties charge him to consult with their heralds to select a title becoming this dignity, and do charge him to continue to keep to the duties of a true herald, as he has done so nobly aforetimes. And Paul, this is yours. Congratulations. For the newest Herald Extraordinary, hip hip, hip hip, hip hip. Thank you, Your Majesties. Please remember that any award medallions and promissory scrolls will be arranged to be delivered to you at a future event. There being no further business to promote the harmony and welfare of the kingdom, Your Majesties, do you have any parting words for the gathered populace?
As our time draws to a close, we just want to reflect on how amazing we feel our populace has done in this time and how we so look forward to seeing everyone in person soon. Stay safe, Caid.
And through this entire pandemic, we have been telling everyone we're going to have to be flexible. And I could not be more proud of the populace of Caid for all that you have done during this time. Many are wondering how we are going to move forward, and those discussions are taking place right now. The one thing I can tell you is that I have recommended to our heirs that coronation wait until such time as we can do it face to face. It is a magical time, an unbelievable time that is not forgotten in your memory. And it should not be done online, in my humble opinion. It needs to be face to face with family, not just for my heirs, not just for us, but for all of Caid. I can remember way back to my first days in the SCA and still remember some courts because they were so special to me. As we step down and hand the reins over, they will make their own decisions on how to move forward, and we will have to be flexible. Depending on when the cure, the vaccine is actually given out, it will decide as to when we'll be able to have events face to face again. And when that happens, it may mean that we have to have a weekend event for a coronation and the next day have a crown tourney. If that is the case, I am confident that Caid will rally together and we'll be able to pull all of this off. But again, I ask all of you, be flexible as we move forward. We have to go with the information we have when we receive it. And again, thank you all for working so hard as we finally are able to see some light at the end of this tunnel. Could not be more proud of everybody in this kingdom. You've worked very hard to get us to where we are. We're thrilled that we're finally seeing what we hope is the end of this terrible plague. And we look forward to moving forward and seeing our family.
Your Highnesses, do you have any comments for the gathered populace?
Your Highness.
Yes, Caid, stay well, and we'll be seeing you soon.
Take care, everybody, and I hope all of your all holidays that you guys go through, everything you do for these next few months are going to be extraordinary. Please take care and please be safe.
Your Excellency Llewellyn, do you have any comments for the gathered populace?
I hope everybody's keeping well and keeping active in these trying times. I look forward to seeing you all face to face again.
Here closes the court of their Majesties, Alexander and Tahira. You have their Majesties, their Highnesses, and His Excellency's permission to depart and go about the afternoon's business. Long live their Majesties, Alexander and Tahira. Long live their Highnesses, Pansa and Katherine. Long live His Excellency, Llewellyn Flinthaven. Long live Navaheim. Long live Caid. Hip hip, hip hip, hip hip. Thank you all for joining us.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Shaggy.
Congratulations.
Paul.
It's Dennis forever.
Well deserved.
Coughing in the house.
Congratulations, Paul.
Time to pick your forever name, Paul.
I bet it's going to be a fun.
Hair. Oh my God. Flip your hair, because that looks cool.